Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Aston Edmonds with Health and Wellness, and you're watching week number 3 of Jonnie Candito's 6-week strength program. Now, looking at week 3 on paper, it doesn't look tough at all. The volume is down significantly from the previous week, but the weight isn't increasing proportionally, so it looks very easy. But I've got to tell you, I don't know if it was just me or if it's the way the program is written, but this week was a struggle. I'm used to handling much heavier weights for much more volume, but for some reason I felt like every rep of this week was a grinder and a struggle. I'm guessing the toughness of this week was caused by just the accumulated fatigue, caused probably primarily from the volume last week, because it was a lot and it was, stuff that I wasn't used to doing those, almost a large cluster set with that, 10 sets of 3 with 60 seconds break. I mean, that workout alone left me more sore than I've been in a very long time. It was a weird soreness because it wasn't just, that, DOMS that I'm used to. It was something a little bit extra. It felt almost like down into my bones or something. It was actually pretty weird. And it was one of those weeks as well where my CNS just felt, fried. I was feeling pretty tired all the time. Also, taking a nap right before this workout did not help that at all because, I felt like I was still in a haze and still waking up almost, but I had to come squat. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't think about when they're creating programs or they're even just thinking about their training, is they spend a lot of time on the physical portion and not enough time on the, CNS portion, because CNS fatigue is a real thing and it definitely affects training. And it's something that I have, completely neglected in the past when writing my programs, is not to account for CNS fatigue. And so luckily I'm on a program now designed by a very knowledgeable person, Jonnie Candito, where he's taking into account, not only physical fatigue, but CNS fatigue, and adapting the CNS to allow us to lift heavier weights. One of the main things that I want to talk about today is the importance of filming yourself when you lift, because, I haven't been filming myself long. I used to do it every now and then just to check form, but now, I'm recording a majority of my sets and reps, and it's really making me more aware of the flaws in my form and technique. You can't really see it from this angle on the deadlift, but the next clip you can see it a lot. My form is terrible. Not so much in the sense that, my lower back is rounding, because it's staying pretty neutral, but just my setup is just very inefficient, and it's something that I need to work on. And if I wouldn't have filmed myself, especially from the next angle that you'll see from the side, then I would have never realized the problems that I was having. I would have just, continued being ignorant and kind of confused on why this weight that I'm lifting now, feels so absurdly heavy and just isn't moving properly. So hopefully I can kind of go over the mistakes that I'm making, and then you guys can learn from that so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. Because that's really when we learn, is not from success, but we learn from our mistakes. As you can see on my setup, the bar is too far out in front of me, in my opinion. You want the bar to be behind your shoulder when you're setting up. And then also my hips start a little bit too low, because as you see, as soon as I start the pull, they rise up and I start to go into my more optimal pulling position. But since I'm starting in the wrong position, I'm just bleeding power. I think really the main issue though was having the bar too far, and then also a little bit too much knee flexion. So if I can keep more of a vertical shin when I'm pulling and keep the bar closer towards me, I think I can really increase my deadlift. And so I'm looking forward to next week when I actually get to deadlift again, and hopefully I can improve that. But anyways, we're on to the second lower body workout of the week, which was extremely low in volume. I was actually surprised when I saw it. We had one set of squats and then one set of a deadlift variation. And so for the set of squat, we're only using 5 pounds more but doing 4 to 6 reps again. These felt rough, and at this point I'm wondering how I'm going to hit the weights that are prescribed for week 5. But I'm sure Jonnie Candito's got a couple tricks up his sleeve and it's all going to work out. So after the set of squats, we moved on to one set of 8 for the deadlift variation, which you'll see in a second. And after watching my deadlift form from earlier in the week, I tried to make some corrections for these deficit pulls, and in my opinion they look a lot better than my conventional deadlift looked. I actually feel like I could pull more from this deficit position using the proper technique than I could from the ground using the wrong technique. So what I want you guys to do is, during your next workout, when you're doing one of your big movements, squat, bench, or deadlift, film yourself from the side and just really see what you can improve on your form, because you can improve lifts a tremendous amount. You could add 50 pounds to your squat just by tightening up your form. But that's the end of the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.